The BCA just released its annual crime report. It shows violent crime dropped 8.6% statewide in 2022, and that's still 30% higher than it was in 2019. The report also shows car theft rose nearly 13% in 2022. At the same time, carjackings committed with force dropped 23%. We'll have much more on this story coming up at 6:30.
We need to catch you up on developing news right now about the Minnesota mother and daughter killed at a resort in Breezy Point last week. 54-year-old Melanie Jansen of Maple Grove and her 29-year-old daughter Hannah Paramenter of Elk River were killed by Jansen's partner in what investigators are calling a murder-suicide. A GoFundMe has now been set up to support their families. As of a few minutes ago, it's raised over $9,000 of its $15,000 goal. If you'd like to help, we have a link over at KARE11.com. An update this morning on a breaking story we first told you about yesterday on Sunrise. Police now believe gunfire outside the Uptown Lakes apartment came from at least two people along Fremont Avenue, south from the Greenway to Lake Street. They think one shooter was in a car. Bullets hit a water main at the apartment, forcing several people out of their homes. Several vehicles were also damaged.
New details coming out this morning about why Brooklyn Center's police chief, Kellis McDaniel, is retiring.
I'm Jennifer Hoff. After a little more than a year, the Brooklyn Center police chief says he's leaving his post. His announcement coming as a shock to some people. He was the first chief hired after a former city cop shot and killed Dante Wright, and the then chief quit. Today, he credits new security cameras for cutting down on some crime and the hiring of about a dozen new police officers, saying he'll stay on the job through January, citing more time with his family, including a new grandson, as the reason to leave law enforcement after 25 years of service in all.
The next 24 hours, union workers at the Hormel meatpacking plant in Austin, Minnesota will start voting on a new contract. The union's bargaining committee is recommending members vote against Hormel's offer. Workers are asking for a significant raise and more secure pensions. And we are 4 days away from auto workers walking off the job. Their union and the big three vehicle makers, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, which makes Chrysler, are miles apart on a deal. Workers want a 40% raise, 32-hour work weeks, and traditional pensions back.
If this strike does happen, which I believe it will, and they don't have it resolved within 30 days, maybe even sooner, there's going to be a lot of people laid off.
GM says a 40-day UAW strike back in 2019 cut production by 300,000 vehicles and cost more than $3 million.
The Lake Harriet bandshell is getting a new roof. Minneapolis Parks and Rec confirmed work is underway on the second round of bandshell repairs. That also includes new roofs for neighboring buildings and restoration of the blue shade the building sported in the 90s. But don't worry, all paths, restrooms, and the bread and pickle will remain open. They expect to complete the project by late fall.
Well, big changes are coming to the iconic Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis. MnDOT says some of the mortar between the stone blocks is deteriorating and has to be replaced. That means portions of the bridge will be closed off over the next 2 years. Crews will only work on half of the bridge at a time, and the project is slated to start next spring and is planning to be done by 2026. Well, getting to and from downtown Minneapolis from the Northwest Metro will be a lot easier the next couple of weeks. Metro Transit's increasing the number of times the North Star train will run to and from Big Lake, and they're bringing back the train for Vikings games as well. The changes will start October 2nd.
A change is brewing in Northeast Minneapolis. Dangerous Man announced they'll be closing their tap room this fall. Taking their place will be celebrity chef Yi Vang and his new restaurant Vinai. It's a project 3 years in the works and is dedicated to his parents. It's named after the refugee camp the chef was born in and will feature his signature Hmong cuisine.
Brewery people who come there, they can still come sit at the same bar and still have a Dangerous Man brew. You know, now they can just get food with it too.
Beer and food, like the sound of that. Dangerous Man is set to close October 21st after 10 years. The owners cited sales declining and costly real estate, but say they're not giving up making their craft beer just yet. In fact, they hope to open something in the near future.
You can get a peanut butter porter and a bao bun.
I keep hearing about this peanut butter porter.
So good. And Chef Vang, I'm so proud of him. So excited to see what comes with Vinai. We are in store for some